Meet Claire. She's a bit of an oddball, a dreamer,
You need to go to Paris.
and a romantic.
Excuse me, you dropped this receipt from babysitting Paris?
Oh my god, Claire, you love him.
But in her dream city of Paris, nothing goes as planned. Whether she's battling bureaucrats,
Qui? Pourquoi?
Non, madame.
nannying for the Parisian family from hell,
I'm Nadège Saint-Pierre. This is my mother, Katia.
Are you depressed, Claire?
Elodie and Angélique.
or falling in love.
Je vais nous inscrire au festival. Aide-moi.
Twice.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Claire's stint in Paris is filled with faux pas.
Mademoiselle, yes, you, the puppet person.
We will let our children run around and scream.
And just a bit of magic.
Life is far too short, and true passion is far too rare.
So you'll be Petrushka for me?
What's up, everybody? This is Fred Rachani. I have right here on the line a very special guest. She's an incredibly talented actress, the star of the hit rom-com, critically acclaimed Goodbye, Petrushka. You just saw the trailer. Currently has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes from critics and the audience. And on top of that, they're just racking up the awards in the festival circuit. We are talking to the lead actress, Lizzie Kehoe. Lizzie, thank you so much for your time. How's everything going?
Oh my gosh, thank you for that incredible introduction. It's going well. It's going well. It's been such a fun journey to go on this. And like you said, we never knew that everything like this would happen. So we're really excited.
Happy to give you the introduction. I love the film, as I told you off the air. I am a sucker for a good rom-com. This is one that kind of turns the tables a little bit, going from New York to Paris, back to New York. I got to ask you first, how'd you get hooked up with director Nicola Rose in this film?
Yeah, so during the pandemic, there weren't many auditions, but this one came to me and I was really intrigued by it because it was an American girl who speaks French fluently, which is a pretty unique kind of combination. And I learned French living in France during high school. So I submitted my audition tape and it all went from there. And then we went through a bunch of callbacks and they offered me the part in September of 2020. So a long time ago.
So you're American, but you're fluent in French. You did go to France, study abroad in high school. So you were uniquely qualified here. The other thing I think some viewers might not know is that Nicola is a former puppeteer. And the character you played, Claire, is also a puppeteer. So was it kind of a challenge for you to not only do your first feature film, but also kind of manage these puppets and act the part?
Totally. Puppets were very new to me. I had never worked with puppets before. Thankfully, Nicola is actually a very, very, very professional and extremely trained puppeteer. So we had lots of rehearsals where I would, go through all of my puppeteering skills for the camera, which is I have a lot of experience in theater, but puppeteering for the camera is definitely a unique set of skills, but Nicola trained me very well. So I was incredibly grateful for that.
You did a fantastic job. And one thing I noticed too, that just the cast itself, like they just fit like a perfect puzzle and everything. Was that chemistry immediate or did it kind of take time to develop?
So that it's funny that you should say that. My very good friend, Casey Landman, and I were actually in this film together by coincidence. Casey plays my friend Julia, and we were in right before final callbacks. We somehow got in touch about us both having these callbacks for this film. Or actually, Casey got the film before I did, and she got in touch with me. We found out about me being in final callbacks for the lead role, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, we're auditioning for the same movie." So that was an incredible coincidence. And the very first time I met Thomas, we really hit it off. So we really did know that we were going to have chemistry, and he's just such a wonderful person, and he's the easiest actor in the world to to work with because he's just so open and so present that he's just a fun person to be around, and everyone else was just an absolute ball. And we had a lot of fun on set, which made it all much better.
That's great. And does he actually have any real life figure skating skills? Because he looked good in that film.
He really did. He actually doesn't. There was a professional skater that the film, we tried to use some movie magic to make it look like Thomas was skating perfectly, but it was not actually him.
Obviously, when the movie's out there and everything, you've already done the best you can. You can only hope that it's received well. But
Yeah.
are you even surprised at how well received it is? I mean, I haven't seen like any negative criticism of this film, which is rare for really any kind of media.
I know. Nicola and I say, if you ever really get down on the world, just go to the Goodbye Petrushka reviews on Amazon Prime. They are so, it's incredible how heartfelt some of these reviews are, and some of the feedback that I've gotten. It's incredible how people really, really connect to the story and connect to the energy in the story. It's such a unique story to have a single character movie that is about a young woman really messing up her life and then piecing it all back together. I think that is such a unique story, and I'm really glad that we told it, and I think people really want to see it. So I look forward to more films like this.
Yeah, no, it was definitely unique, and I really like the fact that there were so many different themes, right? It's kind of like a coming of age story, but it's also a girl who's fallen in love and also making a major life change, going to Paris and having to humble herself and everything else. So, were there any challenges as far as being able to project kind of all those different themes into one character?
Totally, totally. I think that being I had never been the lead. This was my first lead in a feature film, and so I felt a lot of pressure going into it, and I felt a lot of pressure during the filming. But I think that, like I said, everybody on set was so wonderful, and we were having so much fun that it really it made it so organic, so that everyone kind of would coalesce on the energy of every scene. So absolutely there were challenges of rising to the occasion and not letting anybody down, but with everybody on set, we just had such a good time that I think we made it happen.
Hey, you definitely did. And by the way, I want to remind everybody they can currently stream Goodbye Petrushka right now on Tubi, Amazon Prime, Google Play, and YouTube, or
Absolutely.
essentially a film festival near you. I feel like it's been playing everywhere. So that's pretty freaking awesome. Now, before we get to more of the film, I got to ask you, Lizzie, because you mentioned this is your first feature film. Did a heck of a job, but before that, the journey had to start somewhere. So how did your journey in performing arts start?
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for that wonderful question. So my mother thought that I was a very expressive child, and she signed me up for Miss Maureen's Summer Stars theater camp. And so the journey all began when I was about 5 or 6 years old, in Tampa, Florida, going to theater camp. And I would just go all summer, for the whole summer, every single week. So and then I never left theater camp. I kind of joke to people.
And when you were kind of working your way up and everything and realized man, I'd really like to make this an actual career.
Yeah.
Were your friends and family like, hey, have a backup plan, or did they fully support you and think all right, if you're going to do this, get an agent, get headshots, do all that jazz?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that question. I have the most incredible family, and they support me 100%. And with that, I have a lot of different teachers who also completely support me 100% through the ups and downs and all of the wonderful and strange things that happen in this career, as you know, that has really been such a blessing, and I would not be able to do it if those people were not there for me.
Yeah, and one person was there for you, of course. Cast you as Nicola Rose, who's not just the director of this great film, but also a casting director as well, certified casting director.
Yes, she
When, yeah, when you two linked up and everything, how cool was it to be able to work with her, and what did you learn from her? I mean, a lot of people think, seeing all this critical acclaim, she's been in the business for a while, but she was telling me about 7 years, which is a lot of time, but really not that much time. And you two really just seem to click so well. So what was the biggest lesson you learned from working under Nicola?
Oh my gosh, that's such a great question. Nicola is so she is so driven, and but driven, but not um never sacrifices any heart in that. And I think it was such a lesson to me that you can really work as hard as she does, um and have that much drive and that much tenacity without being kind of cruel, or some things that like people get frustrated, all of the understandable emotions that come up when you're making a movie like this. But she's so understanding, and she's so patient, and she's so thoughtful. So I think that watching and working with someone like that was so inspiring.
And that's great. So it really seems like she kind of set the tone, right? So even though it's your
Oh,
first
definitely.
feature, there's understandable nerves, maybe some anxiety and everything. It seems like between the great actors that you had to work with and her, that everything kind of, once the light came on, it just was business as usual.
Definitely, definitely. And we also had so many people on set that were just going through Herculean tasks to make everything go smoothly. We had a COVID compliance officer. Her name was Molly O'Brien, who took on amazing feats of nature to make us all look wonderful and everything go smoothly. And Tierney, who's the producer of the film, just I don't know how these people did it. They really moved mountains so that we could all just be creative and in the moment.
Awesome. And I'm assuming this probably won't be the last time you work with Nicola, right?
I hope not. I mean, Nicola is truly a force of nature. I hope she has so many films to come, and I know she has lots of magic and lots of beautiful stories to give to the world. So we'll see.
We shall see. And if people want to watch Goodbye Petrushka again, you could check it out on Amazon Prime Video, Tubi, Google Play, and YouTube. Now, before we let you go, Lizzie, we always like to ask our guests some kind of random and rapid fire questions just to get to know them better. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Favorite late night snack or cheat meal?
Ice cream,
What flavor?
cookie dough.
All right. Favorite spot in Tampa? If I'm visiting Tampa for the first time, what's a spot you tell me to hit up?
Totally. So there's this little inlet on Davis Island that is very magical, and it is a great place to make some wishes come true.
All right. Favorite spot in New York City?
Favorite spot in New York City? Probably the Promenade in Brooklyn Heights.
All-time favorite actors and filmmakers?
All-time favorite actors. I love Mark Rylance. I can't help but love Mark Rylance. I was just watching Denzel Washington, and I just think Denzel Washington is unbelievable. He's the person that's coming to my mind. Favorite filmmakers.
Besides Nicola.
Besides Nicola, that's a great one. Besides Nicola, I really think Sofia Coppola is really interesting. I'll go with her.
She's great. I love Lost in Translation. One of my
I
all-time
know,
favorite films.
it's incredible.
Awesome. What's your most awkward moment in the filming of Goodbye Petrushka?
Oh
Is
my
there
God.
is there anything that was wacky that happened that makes for a good story now?
Definitely. So many things. The one that's coming to my mind was when I just laughed with Nicola about this weekend. So one scene when I was filming it, we had been getting up at 5 a.m. It was 5 a.m. when we shot it, and it was so hot outside, and I was like sweating, and they couldn't keep the makeup on me. And it has turned into one of my favorite scenes of the film, because I think that both of us were so present and so alive at that moment. That now I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad all that happened, because it was such good acting.
Was it hard for you to keep a straight face in your scenes with Casey, who plays Julia?
Oh my God, yes. Especially when she was doing the scene where we were doing the growling, and she has like the PowerPoint. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I had to get lots of giggles out.
Who's less self-aware, Rafal or Julia?
Oh my God. I actually think Julia might be less self-aware, because I think Rafal kind of knows like the effectiveness of his tactics. I don't know if he knows like the consequences of his tactics, but he knows how effective they are.
Yeah, and we just want to shout out the actors too who play these great characters because I know they kind of play like aloof, not self-aware. Before I understand, really nice people in real life.
Oh my gosh, the best, such nice people. I don't think you can be like a mean character. This is my personal theory. Like, I don't think you can play a mean character if you're actually like a mean person. Like, I think the best people play the best mean characters. I don't know.
For any young actors watching or listening to this, what advice would you give them up to this point?
Find who you are and make yourself so happy and make yourself very fulfilled.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
It's awesome. And we get you on another high note. Why should people watch Goodbye Petrushka?
People should watch Goodbye Petrushka because I think that it brings a heartfelt message to the people who watch it. And I think that we all could use some more heartfelt energy in our lives.
Very well said, concise, to the point. You should definitely check it out. Tubi, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube, and Google Play. Lizzie, before we let you go, where can we find you online and where can we find you next?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I am on Instagram online, Lizzie Kehoe on Instagram and on IMDb. Just my name as they do. And up to next, I have a couple of development projects that I'm writing myself. And I will be doing a concert in New Jersey called Sci by Night.
Well, hang on. You said concert. So are you also a singer? Or
I am
musician?
also a singer. In this concert, I will not be singing. I will be narrating, but I do also sing.
So you're also a singer too. What,
Yes, I am also a singer.
wow.
Yes.
What kind of singing?
You know, I sing a lot of musical theater. That is my personal voice. Are you a singer?
I am not a singer, unfortunately.
Not yet. Oh, that's great.
Maybe you could teach me one day. You know, like I'll sign for your classes and everything. But no,
Absolutely, please do.
that's fantastic though. Wow. Okay, so I guess moving forward, you mentioned your writing. You've done theater work. You've done singing. You just started in your first feature film as the lead actress. I'm sure you'd like to do all these different things in your showbiz career, but what do you enjoy the most?
Oh my gosh, you know, right now I'm really enjoying writing, but acting is like my first love. It's the thing that I will always I feel like I can't do anything else unless I'm acting. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the thing that really grounds me in the world.
Yeah, and then I would imagine it helps you too as a writer because you kind of know both sides of the spectrum.
Exactly. You kind of know how things move on stage and on film, and I completely agree with you.
Love that. Look at you dropping all these facts. And you know, I'll ask this anyway because I always ask this at the end of every interview. But you've already dropped some kind of cool random facts about yourself. Bonus question: is there anything else you wish I asked you in this interview?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I thought that your questions were incredible. I feel like I shared everything I'd like to share. Thank you so much, Fred.
No, hey, Lizzie, absolutely. It was an absolute pleasure. Of course, you can check her out again. Goodbye, Petrushka, now streaming on Tubi, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube, and Google Play. Thanks so much.
Thank you.